Good morning, everyone. Oh, trying to get this phone set so I can shoot a video. When I was running this morning, I was reminded of something. I don't know if y'all watched A Christmas Carol a lot when you were a kid, but I loved it. The original one in black and white, the old one, and then when Scrooge came out with Bill Murray. There's just something about A Christmas Carol that just seems so much like Christmas. I mean, it's a Christmas movie, but it just reminds you of the fact that most of the time at Christmas, we are thinking of past Christmases and this current Christmas. And then if we have just a little bit of time, we think about the hope of future Christmases. And today when I was running, I really thought about how sometimes our expectations of life get in the way of what life really is. I know when I was a kid, Christmas was exciting, but I knew as a kid that there would be some type of present under the tree, but it might not be exactly that big thing that everybody was talking about at school or on TV, because I knew we had limited finances. So luckily for me, my love language is not gifts. So luckily for my mom too, that my love language was not gifts. So I didn't feel disappointed as a kid if I didn't get a bunch of gifts or this big special thing. I was just happy to get something, Christmas for me was more about baking cookies with my mom, because we always would make cookies for family members and stuff, and decorating cookies, and really just the whole experience, because mom made a lot of cookies and fudge and candies for people, and we'd get a little bit of it, but we didn't just sit and eat, all that stuff all during the holiday. We'd get a taste of it, but we weren't just bombarded with it. But mom was always working on it, so the house always smelled amazing at Christmas, and we were always listening to Christmas music. I love Christmas music. My mom would get up and put music on in the mornings and just go to work baking cookies. And that is what's special to me at Christmas. Decorating the Christmas tree, and she'd drag all them old wompy ornaments out that we made at school. No joke. This was way pre-Hobby Lobby, everyone's tree looking like a designer tree. Our tree looked like elementary school art. But mom loved it. She did. Mom loved it. Mom would get all those old ratty ornaments out and put them on the tree. So that was always fun, looking back at what year and who made it, And we would make these Christmas chains. I don't know if y'all remember making chains out of construction paper, and let us hang that old crappy looking stuff up. But it was so fun. It was so fun, and it's what made Christmas for us. And we would usually go to Grandma's when Grandma and Papa lived in Michigan, and Grandma would fill these big boxes with all this crap that had our names on it. And God knows how much it cost her. But we loved it. There was no, really big thing, but it was pencils with our name on it. And she would make us, because my grandma sewed, she would make us pajamas and nightgowns with our monogram on it, back before that was a big thing. So it was always special. And even though it wasn't like today's really bunches of expensive gifts, it was so special. And just the cousins getting together. The cousins getting together was always fun. And in the wintertime, because it was Michigan, they wouldn't throw us out in the yard. They would let us go in the basement, and Grandma had a pool table. So when we got big enough, we got to play pool. when we were little, we might mess the pool table up. So we did not mess around, but we got to play in their finished basement, and that was always fun too. So it reminded me of all the Christmas pasts. But, our families have Christmas past stories too. Like, you still have a Christmas past story as an adult. And I was thinking of mine and Glenn's Christmas story, because we had a lifetime with someone else and with raising children before we got together. And Glenn's Christmas story was that he had, 25 years. And, when you're married for a long time, a lot of those years are really happy. They are. No one's like really struggling it out the whole time they're married. Cares of life come in and they choke out things, and depending on how one or more parties involved in that relationship handle it, whether the relationship makes it or not. Even in Christian homes, and he raised 3 beautiful children. And, I met him the year after, I met him not long after he was on his own again. And me, I was married for a long time to a good person, and cares of life and lack of attention to the relationship, and me just really being pulled off from the mission, losing the whole plot with what I was designed to do and being connected with my purpose, just really drug me away from my family. So all that created different dynamics at Christmas for my children. But we all still really tried to make Christmas special. And then when Glenn and I got together, we really tried really hard to get all the kids together the best we could. In a lot of years, we'd be missing 1 or 2. It just happens that way because our kids were older. When we got together, his youngest was 15 and mine was 17. And some of my kids had already moved out and had their own homes. So, so Christmas looked different. And this year in Christmas present, life looks very different. We don't have the house that we had that we would get together at a lot. We don't have all our crazy, amazing Christmas decorations outside that we normally do. But we did it up as good as we could, for having an RV. And we're real happy with it. But Christmas looks a lot different this year because all my kids have families. And Glenn's children live out in Texas, and they have friends and they have jobs that don't necessarily let them go travel. And one of them has pets. And I know there's a lot of amazing pet sitters. But when your pets are your children, it's really hard to leave them for a week to come back, for Christmas or whatever. So we totally get it. So we realized this year, even before we sold the house and moved into the RV, we realized Christmas had to be different. When my kids were little, we would always do Christmas at our house. We did not travel. I was kind of selfish with that, I'm not going to lie. I only went down to my mom's once for Christmas because I wanted my kids to get to be home with their stuff that they got for Christmas. And I didn't want us stressed out traveling at Christmas. And I realized during some of the holidays this last year that it was really hard for my kids and their families to make it to the 8,000 Christmases and Thanksgivings and Easters that they had to go to. Because with being divorced, then they have holidays with their dad. They have holidays now with their in-laws, as they should, because that's their family. But I wanted to take some of the pressure off of them and say, listen, our time used to be Christmas night. We were the last Christmas stop. And the kids were real good about making it for this. But I know the kind of pressure it put on them. And some of the kids have small children and it interferes with their bedtime. And I said, you know what? For Christmas present, we are going to have a birthday party for Jesus on December 18th. And we're going to celebrate why we celebrate Christmas and keep it simple with hot dogs and sharing the Christmas story, and I'll send their presents home with them and they can open them at the house. We're going to do it at a park. And I just want to really honor and hold Christmas and keep with the fact that it's when Jesus came into the world and he's our greatest gift. But they're having their fun holiday, traditions with their Elf on the Shelf, which their elves are doing crazy and amazing things. I love it. I'm glad they're having fun with it. And they're going to see Santa and take pictures and experience all the magic in that way, for Christmas. But I decided we were going to do a birthday party for Jesus and that we're not going to get together on Christmas Day. And I'm okay with that. And I'm going to invite all of them to go to church with me either Christmas Eve or on the 23rd. And, if they can make it, that'll be fabulous. If they can't, I'm not going to guilt trip them. I know how hard it is to be a mother of small children. So I want them to have a good Christmas present. I don't want them just to look back at Christmas past and say, oh, when it was simpler, it was better. I want them to embrace and enjoy the season they're in. And as we look to Christmas future, I look with hope as I watch these grandkids grow up and as I see my kids being parents and raising their families. I look with hope to the future. I am so thankful to get to be close to my kids, where I can be there to go to the grandkids, things that they're having at school, to go to the park with them, to celebrate holidays, no matter what day it is. Please, if I can just implore you to think of one thing. When you celebrate holidays, don't worry about what day it is that you celebrate. There's a lot of families that are blended families and families that are affected by divorce where the children have to go to be with the other parent. And they want to go and be with the other parent. It's not a tragic thing. You can make whatever day that you decide to celebrate special. Don't get caught up on a day. Get caught up on the reason why you celebrate. I hope that y'all have a great holiday. I know that a lot of people's holidays are going to look different. I know that we've been affected, which, ever since I was a little kid, we lost people at the holidays. When I was smaller, my grandpa lost his dad at Christmas, and my mom lost her biological father close to Christmas one year. There's a lot of people that lose family members close to Christmas. And it brings a little sadness, or they lose someone they love during the year, and that Christmas they just don't have everyone at the table, or sometimes family members can't get home. Guys, let's focus on who is there, and let's focus on the love and the joy that we can have at these holidays. Regardless of whether our kids are with us that day or not with us that day, celebrate when you can and when you get together. I hope that everyone's Christmas is wonderful. I'm working on making ours as magical as I can. I am keeping a true spirit of joy through these holidays, and I hope to just shine that onto others. Y'all have a great week. Enjoy this season of love and joy and peace. Jesus came to show us how to live and how to love and restore our relationship with the Father, because he loved us so much and he didn't want us to be separated from him. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.